Hello, I'm Nico Dizon for Rappers The Leader I Want series, where we talk to those running for the elections, platforms and not gimmicks. Joining us today is senatorial candidate Romulo Macalintal, sought after election lawyer turned politician, can I say?
Yes, politician, candidate.
Candidate. It was so hard to pin you down, sir, since last month,
Yeah,
last
because
year.
we are so busy now, campaigning and planning for our political gimmicks also. We call that gimmicks. But most of all, we have to reach out to the people, especially to the voters, because,
Yes.
in our case, especially in my case, I thought I was already popular as an election lawyer, but being an election lawyer, I just realized that that is not enough. We
Yeah.
have to go out and introduce ourselves, and we have to get more awareness from our people. I really am surprised because most of my friends still do not know that I'm running for the Senate. They know me, but when I met them, they said they were kind of surprised. Are you really running?
So, kulang ng information campaign pa, sir.
Uh-huh.
Yung information drive
Yes,
mo,
talagang information.
even within your own circle.
Yes, actually, some politicians didn't even know that I am running for the Senate. Some of my clients didn't know that. I met someone from Cavite, and he was surprised to learn that I'm running for this coming
Yes, sir.
election.
But in your visits to provinces, how did people respond to you?
Well, every time I deliver my speech, every time I told them about my program, I could feel that they are receptive on what I am saying. And I'm very, very confident. And so far as that crowd is concerned, I was able to deliver myself to them. And I had the confidence that they are going to vote for me. But it's only composed of about 300 to 500 people. What about the 50 million others whom we have to reach also? So I really don't know how to reach all our voters. And I'm just glad that we have this social media. I'm glad that we have this Rappler. And with all these exposures, I hope and pray that somewhere, somehow, we would be able to reach our target audience.
Yeah, the recent surveys already came out, and for most of those in the opposition coalition, the numbers really don't look good. Are you nervous, or did you expect this?
Oh yes, I expected that for the first blast of these surveys, we will not be in the top winning circles. But I am still confident that as we go on with our campaign, we could still catch up with the numbers. I recall that in the case of the Vice President Eleni Robredo, when she was picked as the Vice Presidential candidate, she was practically unknown. And people are saying, oh, paano mananalo yun? Hindi naman kilala yan. And she started with a 1% rating. And from 1%, she became the Vice President, di ba?
And that's everyone's inspiration now.
Yes, yeah.
But
And
what can you... Go ahead, sir.
at the first survey where I was mentioned, I got only 1%. But now I am already 9%. So that's a 800% increase.
Yes.
So if I get 8% every month, by the time we reach May, it's about 4 months to go. 8 times 4, that's 32%, and that's the winning percentage.
You're doing the math, ha?
Yeah, ako naniniwala ako mananalo kami. Oh.
Okay, sir. But what can you say about the top 15 at least? Yung mga consistently that come up in the surveys, and they're on the top 50. They're in the top 15.
Well, I don't want to comment on them, but I just want to comment on how they were still rated as the 15 top candidates. I really don't know the methodology undertaken by the survey groups. I really don't know the number of people who they interviewed and the procedures being undertaken. But I hope and pray that the people will still look into the qualifications of the top 15 candidates. Hindi lamang dahil sila popular, hindi lamang sila nagbabalik, kundi tingnan naman nila kung ako ay pwede lang i-compare sa mga taong yan. Si Atty. Macalintal ba, pwede mo i-compare kay number 2, number 3, number 4. Si Atty. Macalintal ba pwede makipag-debate sa number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4? Siguro yun ang dapat na tinitingnan ng ating mga tao. Hindi kung sinong popular. This is not a popularity contest, you know. And I think the right of suffrage must be exercised with utmost care and utmost, it must be seriously exercised by our people, because the kind of leaders that we are going to elect will decide the kind of future that we are going to have.
Yes. And your platform is that, electoral reforms.
Electoral reforms.
And also the senior citizens.
In electoral reform, I look forward that the right of suffrage could be part of the subject or curriculum in high school.
Why as young as high school?
Well, so that our youngsters, our youth, will know the value of the right of suffrage. They will know the qualities of leader that they're going to elect. Ang nangyayari kasi ngayon, bata pa lang tayo, tuwing may matatalo kasi, lagi sinasabi na dadaya. So, at the very young stage of our life, all we heard is that the election is not
You
clean.
have your own personal experience sa ganyan. I remember you were saying you talked to parents of some sangguniang kabataang candidates because they wanted to file an electoral protest.
I've been telling our parents that if your children are running for the SK position, do not make them look like our regular politicians. Sabi ko sa kanila, huwag niyong gagayahin yung ating mga politiko. Eh, minsan, pag natatalo yung mga batang kandidato, nagfa-file din ng election protest. Sabi ko, ano ba yan? Hindi sila marunong tumanggap ng pagkatalo. So, ang nangyayari sa atin, bata pa lang tayo, what we heard is that the elections were marred with irregularities because the candidates who lost the election would say they were cheated or they could not accept defeat in good grace. Alam mo, there are more losers than winners. For instance, we have 1,000 positions at the stake. Dito sa atin, maraming tumatakbo. At least four candidates per position. So if you have 1,000 positions at 4 bets per position, you have 4,000 candidates. So 1,000 will be very happy and 3,000 will be shouting out, nadaya kami. So napakadaming sisigaw na sila yung nadaya. Kaya ang taong bayan, nakala nila masama ang ating election. And so I'd like to have that as part of our curriculum so that the youth at a very early stage should realize the value of the right of suffrage. They should understand that when we vote, we don't only vote for ourselves, we vote on behalf of those people who could not go to the polls. Tayo ang nagre-represent sa kanila. They should know the value of the right of suffrage.
Yes, sir. Sir, you've seen elections for the past 3 decades. Marami na. Anong nagbago? What remained the same?
Well, at present, at least we have the automated system. Before, we had the manual system. But at present, at least with the automated election, we are sure that we have the correct count. But while we have the correct count, there are still problems as to whether or not this came from serious voters, or is this really the correct decisions of the people? Because while we have the automated election system, we still have the problem encountered in the manual election. For instance, vote buying. Whether you have manual election or automated election, you cannot prevent vote buying. Pareho ng problema yan. Violence, terrorism, ballot grabbing, whether automated or manual, andoon pa rin yan. They will get all the ballots. Yung mga armed men will get the ballots. They fill up the ballots themselves. Insert this into the PCOS machine. So the same
you'd
problem.
say technology, at least, yun ang improvement. But in terms of behavior, character of the Filipino as a voter,
not yet.
medyo
Hindi pa rin. But then at least the people could be assured that if they really vote, their vote would be counted. Unlike before, boboto sila, but then their vote might be manipulated. While the votes will be counted, but the final tally could be manipulated by some unscrupulous Comelec officials. Yung mga nagtatali dyan, yung 1,000 votes mo, pwede maging 11,000. Yung 1,000 votes mo, pwede maging 4,000, just as mere stroke of the pen. But with the advent of the automated system, you cannot do that. Because once the count is made by the machine, nobody can change the results.
Sir, are you thinking of any law or parang ideas nyo how to also reform Comelec itself? Because of course, we can say it's not a perfect agency. There
Well,
are
I think
things
the
that needed
best
to be, that need
way
to
to
be,
reform that is to see to it that the Comelec officials who are appointed are not politically motivated, that they would be selected on the basis of their honesty and integrity, and that they would really work hard for the benefit of the people. But if the people who would be placed there would only be for their own political aggrandizement, then walang mangyayari. Pareho pa rin. And even not only at the Supreme Court level, at the Comelec level, but even in the Supreme Court level, I think we should also have people who would really render justice, in accordance with the law and the evidence presented
but
by the
it's by
parties.
law that the president appoints the Comelec commissioners.
Yes.
Should we change that? Should there be a different appointment and selection process?
Well, I think it's not a matter of procedure, but it's a matter of the people who are being chosen.
Yeah.
Kasi everyone who is applying for a position could promise heaven and earth, but the final test would be once they're already in the post and performing their duties.
Yeah.
Kahit anong sabihin mong pangako nila, gagawin kong lahat. Pero pagdating doon, nagkakaroon pa rin ng mga political considerations.
The party list system is another issue. You said that, it's an issue that needs to be addressed because, you also expressed concerns how the party list system is being
there
abused.
must be an amendment. There must be a review on the policy concerning our party list system. The Constitution provides for the different sectors to be represented, but at present, wala nang sectoral representation. As long as you have the money, as long as you can organize a group, and as long as you can convince the Comelec that you are for a particular undertaking, then they would approve you. Ang problema niyan, almost all politicians have their own party list. If they control a province, since they got the votes there, magtatayo sila ng party list group nila and they get elected.
Yeah.
So it's a family corporation. You realize that most of these members of party list who are now working in Congress, they belong to the same family of politicians.
Naging part pa ng dynasty, nagamit for their dynasty.
Nadagdagan pa ang ating dynasty. So siguro talaga there must be a provision on political dynasty, and I think it should really be banned, it should be prohibited, it should not be allowed. There must be a specific degree of relationship where people could participate in our political exercise. Because even the Constitution says that every person should be given the equal opportunity of public service. Meaning dapat pantay-pantay ang pagkakataon natin makapagserbisyo. Pero ngayon, kung sino may gustong pamilya, sila-sila na lang.
Sir, as an election lawyer, syempre meron ka ring personal beliefs mo, your own biases, your own opinions. And also, but your clients are part of dynasties also, and there are issues about them. How do you separate your personal beliefs and you're being a lawyer fighting for this candidate?
Well, in all cases that I handle, I don't look into their personal background, but I just look into the merits of their case. If the case is meritorious, then I accept the case. If the case is not meritorious, then I politely turn it down. Siguro yun lang ang talaga may contribute ko rito, just to assure our people na the people I am fighting for are really honest to goodness winners and not losers who just insist on winning, although there is no right on his part to be declared as a winner.
Was there ever someone na you regretted helping?
Wala naman. Lahat naman okay sa akin. I never regretted handling one because one thing for me is I prayed for all my cases. Sabi ko, siguro kaya nga dumating sa akin ito is I have to help him or her. And as a lawyer, we rely on the evidence presented to us by our clients, although we still have to review all this evidence. And it has been my policy that if the case is not a winning case, then I politely tell my clients that walang pag-asa yun.
Because one of your more controversial clients is, or was, Gloria Macalintal,
Yeah,
President
the
and
president of the
Speaker.
Philippines. Yeah, before I accepted that, I have to really study the case.
The case.
And as a matter of fact, it took a long time for Secretary Gabby Claudio, who was then the political officer, to convince me to immediately to accept the case, because I still have to study, and then I have to talk to the president about the dynamics of the election
So
during
whatever
that time.
allegations of wrongdoings against her as an official, you try to separate
Yeah,
that.
separate them.
each
And
focus of the-
actually, in the case of the president, there was no evidence at all to prove that there was that he won just because of cheating. There might be some irregularities committed by some people, but these were not directly. This does not directly involve the president, because as you will recall, it's not only the president who was running at the time. It involves local elected officials. Ang nangyayari kasi pagka nagkaroon ng dayaan sa local, pati yung sa taas, nagkakaroon ng epekto. If they said that in the local levels there were dagdag bawas, they claim also that at the upper level there was also dagdag bawas. But suffice it to say, however, that in the case of the president, the electoral protest against her was dismissed for lack of merit.
It must be really difficult, you know,
Very,
just
very
trying
difficult.
to, you know, put myself in your shoes. Parang, ano ka gagawin ko pag ganitong sitwasyon?
Yeah. Pero ako naman naniniwala na I can handle, dahil sa I know the law, and I know how to apply the law. And I've been very, very honest to all my clients, because as I said earlier, I tell them honestly as to whether or not they have a chance of winning their specific cases.
Let's go to your other advocacy, the senior citizens.
Oh, yes, the senior citizen.
So, kumusta naman ang interaction natin with the senior citizens in the round?
I'm very, very positive that the senior citizens will be, supporting me. As a matter of fact, I have been declaring in all my political sorties, in all my interviews. Ngayon sa Rappler, I am now saying this. Kayong mga senior citizens, you are now officially declared as my official campaign managers to your apo and sa inyong mga anak. Kasi I've been telling the senior citizens, I have so many programs for them. Yung mga dagdag diskwento, dagdag benepisyo, libreng sine. And I told them that I will really do this for them. But then I cannot achieve it on the base merely of the votes coming from senior citizens, because we are only 9 million. Sabi ko sa kanila, hindi ko po magagawa ito dahil 9 million lang tayo. I need 15 million votes in order to win. Kaya sabi ko, kailangan ikampanya ninyo ko sa iyong apo at mga anak. Ayan, kasi kung makakakuha kayo ng dalawa, that would be 18 million plus your 9 million, that would be 27 million. Naku, baka magtapa tayo sa senatorial election.
You're also a senior citizen,
Yes,
sir. But why did you think of taking up this cause?
Actually,
Why is it important?
that's one of the almost 80% of my decision to run was because of the cause of the senior citizens and persons with disability. For the past, I think, 5 years, I've been fighting for the rights and benefits of the senior citizens. So, and I've been writing Congress, I've been writing the senators and congressmen on some benefits for the senior citizens, additional benefits or amendment of the laws. Pero all these letters were only left in the committee level. So sabi ko, I think it's about time that I take up the cudgels personally for the senior citizens, and ako na mismo ang lalaban sa kanila sa Senado. And I got support from some senior citizens organizations. Yung mga senior citizens, sabi na, sige attorney, ikaw na nga ang tumakbo. So sabi ko, siguro pwede nga rin ako tumakbo. And even during the time when I was handling the case of the President Arroyo, when I was her election lawyer, I've been offered to serve in the government. So, napakadaming positions. But I politely declined all these offers. Pero sabi ko, at this age, 71 years old, perhaps it's also high time that I also serve the government. I would also like to try, give it a try. I want to test ano ba yung ginagawa ng mga kandidato ko, mga kliyente kong kandidato. Paano kaya kung ako mismo maging kandidato? Sabi ko nga, I've been kingmaker, sabi nga, for the past so many years. Siguro I want to be the king.
That's nice. And let's talk about the king. The president himself. is a senior citizen, he could, you know,
Yes,
benefit from your advocacy.
Oh, sana. And the president would consider all my bills in the future as urgent bills for our senior citizens.
How would you describe his leadership for the past, you know,
Well,
two
I
and a
would
half
say
years?
he might be competent, but there appears no specific seriousness on the way he handles the management or the government. You know? He would be saying so many things, then after a while, it's only a joke. Ano? So
It bothers you?
Yeah.
It bothers you na ganun parati ang
Ganun
sinasabi
palagi,
ng Malacanang?
laging joke lang daw ho yan. Ano? So, kailan na magsisimula? Kailan magkakaroon ng seriousness ang president? When would the president be serious on the matters that he is telling us? This is the only leader in the entire world. I have not heard of any leader in the entire world who is would be saying a lot of things for or against a particular individual or organization. Then later on, sabihin niya, it's just a joke.
Recently, he said he's using that, you know, that kind of language because he wants to test the limits of civility.
No,
the
I think that
Filipino.
is not the way to test the civility. And you don't have to test the civility of the Filipino people. Ano, I think he was elected to serve the people and not to test the people. The people will be the one to test him. Ano, but it's not for the president to test the civility of the people. Because any elected leader, any government official is placed there to serve and not to test the people. Kailangan malaman nila na sila ay dapat maglingkod at hindi yung titingnan nila kung ano ang gagawin ng ibang tao.
And he also said that human rights advocates are destroying government with their advocacy. You're not associated with human rights because more elections skills, sir, but you know, you're a lawyer.
I don't see how the human rights people would be destroying the government. Ano? The human rights advocates might be expressing their sentiments, but this should be a challenge to be accepted by the president or by the government or by our leaders. If there is something being said by the human rights advocates, then they should look into it as to whether or not there's truth on what they're accusing them about or ano ba talaga ang dapat na gagawin.
Yes, sir. Sir, you're part of the opposition coalition, no? Do you discuss these issues like the president's statements or the president's
Actually, I am not
actions?
hindi naman talaga opposition in the real sense that we would be opposing all actions of the president. Siguro, just like in my case, I am just an independent candidate. And actually, I'm just a guest of the coalition of the vice president.
Yeah.
So when I say I'm a part of the coalition, I really don't refer ourselves as opposition. Ano? Hindi ko malaman paano i-describe yun. But para sa akin, I am there not just to oppose the government, ano? But to see to it that I would also have my own policies, I would also have my own bills, my own laws that I intend to present as a Congress for the benefit of our people. Not to criticize anybody, pero para sa akin, I have to do something for our people, ano? Especially for our senior citizens.
Yes, but I can imagine, you know, like pag nagpupunta kayo magkakasama sa probinsya and the coming sorties, pag official na yung campaign period, I can imagine yung kwentuhan ninyo about, you know, what's happening.
Yes, pero in our in all our speeches, ano, I have not heard of any of my colleagues in the coalition attacking the president.
Is that a strategy of the
No,
coalition?
I think no, I don't know, but hindi ko nakita na inaatake namin ganung kabigat, ano. We might be criticizing some of his policies. We might be criticizing the way he attacks the church. Ano, pero not to say na walang yayan, ganito yan, ganun, yung mga bad words against the president. I have not heard of any member of the coalition using bad words against the president.
How are people parang taking that? Mas gusto ba nila na ganun? Na kind of you know, criticisms lang, or mas gusto ba nila yung sige, attack? In terms of your interaction,
mas gusto nila yung you just criticize, you just make an objective criticism, ano. Kasi ang tao, ayaw nila yung masyadong nag-a-atake ngayon eh. Because parang if you use this, yung mga old style of politics, you attack your enemies. Parang hindi na gusto ng tao yun eh. What the people are asking is, what are you going to do? What would be your platform? How are you going to help us? How would you resolve poverty? How would you resolve inflation? How are we going to have more jobs? Hindi, para ngayon, people are no longer interested doon sa sinasabi ng Pangulo. Ang nangyayari ngayon eh, para bang wala nang pakialam, kundi ang pakialam ng tao ay para sa sarili. Kami naghihirap, wala kaming trabaho, ano ang magagawa ninyo? Because if you say, the president is bad, he's saying these things, he is attacking the church, so what? But in so far as you're concerned, what are you going to do? Ano ang program mo para sa akin? So in my case, I've been very, very specific. You know, I've been telling them, ako pag nanalo ko, I will give 30% discount to our senior citizens. Once they reach 70 years old, once they reach 80 years old, I'll give you 40% discount. Once you reach 90 and above, your discount should be 50%. So ako very, very specific ang aking programs. Ano? Unlike yung iba, without not really criticizing them, masyadong generalized ang presentation. Sa aming grupo, ako lang daw yung merong talagang very, very specific ang advocacy. Talagang I have this advocacy for our senior citizens.
Yes, sir. Sir, what's the best advice so far that you've received in the campaign, and from whom?
Well, from the Vice President, I've been telling me na don't be worried about the survey.
She remains, Vice President Robredo remains her client, no?
Yes, she's still my client. Kasi there was a time when I told her na, I can't believe that my awareness is only 1%. Sabi niya, huwag kang mag-alala dyan. Darating din yan. You just concentrate on your advocacies. You just keep on campaigning. If there would be interviews, you go on with these interviews. And we will be supporting you in your endeavor. So, ako, sabi niya, I started with 1%, then 2%, 3%, and I became Vice President. So, don't you get worried about this the survey ratings. Yun na, at least yun, nagbibigay sa akin ng pag-asa.
Pag-asa, lakas ng loob.
Lakas ng loob, yes.
Pero sir, kanina nabanggit mo, umikot ka, ang sipag mo, sir.
Yes.
You're going around different provinces. You came home at 1 a.m. and then we met today early.
Today, because I had to lecture before this group of lawyers. Then tomorrow we'll be going to Baguio City. Then Wednesday, punta naman kami ng Bohol. Then Thursday, Cebu.
Grueling schedule talaga.
Yeah.
Pero sir,
we need all this kind of exposure sa akin, especially na wala naman kami sa top 10. And we have all these interviews by radio, mga forum. Pero ako kasi naniniwala ako na kailangan talaga ang ganitong exposures. There was a press conference we had yesterday, and the media were asking us, hindi ba kayo natatakot? Ang baba-baba ng media nyo, anong gagawin ninyo? Sabi ko naman sa media, kayo naman siguro, ano rin ang gagawin ninyo? Anong tulong naman magagawa ninyo just to educate the people on how to vote properly? We are qualified. I'm sure the media men or women are aware of our qualifications. You compare us with others. So kayo mga taga-media, anong gagawin ninyo? Media have been sponsoring different fora, di ba? Mga debates. And we are glad may mga debates. But after the debates, what? Anong gagawin ng media? Do you rate the candidates? Do you make an analysis as to whether or not they are really qualified?
Oh, you're throwing a challenge at us right now.
Yes, that's a challenge to the media, di ba? Kayo, natutuwa kayo, you ask questions, di ba? Sabi ninyo, para sa kabubuti ng ating halalan, para malaman ninyo ano ang qualifications nila. So you interviewed us, kami naman, bigay ng bigay. Pero after that, magagawa ba kayo? Nasabi ko sa kanila, are you going to rate us? Do you have a panel of judges to determine our qualifications? Kasi sa mga debates na ganito, nagtataka kami, bakit yung mga nasa top rank na mga sa survey, hindi sila namin nakakadebate. hindi sila nag-a-appear.
Yes.
So, pag hindi nag-appear sa inyong forum, sa inyong debates, ano ang magiging analysis ng media? How are you going to relate to the people? Kasi it's also your responsibility to tell the people ano ang nangyari, di ba? Kasi sabi nyo, para matulungan kayo na malaman kung anong qualifications nila, ito po ay para sa inyo. Pero dapat, sabi ko sa kanila, after the debates, you should make an analysis because that is your social responsibility to the people. I think, sabi ko pa sa kanila dapat sa lahat ng mga ganyan mga debates, dapat meron kayong panel of judges who will make talagang honest to goodness panel of judges, independent, so that after all the candidates were interviewed, they will now make an analysis.
Controversial yan, sir, because
journalists to the people kasi
decide,
makikita naman nila bakit yung iba hindi uma-appear? So pag hindi nag-appear, anong gagawin? Sa ibang bansa, ganyan, di ba? Immediately after the debate, ang gaganda ng mga commentaries nila.
Yes.
Pero dapat siguro gano'n. That's part of this, also this responsibility.
The commentaries are good.
Good.
Dapat analytical and critical and
tsaka yung talagang makikita nila yung objective commentary.
Yes, sir. And then, sir, kanina may nabanggit, it's very interesting to me to hear na you don't have people on the ground. Despite ikot ka ng ikot, wala ka talagang foot soldiers. And they say, yun ang importante in a campaign, right?
Yeah, national campaign, kailangan nga daw yun. Pero,
paano yun? What adjustments
kasi para sa akin, kahit meron kang people on the ground, you cannot still reach 50 million voters Talagang kailangan interview, radio, TV. Yan, kailangan yung ganun. Kasi mas malaki. Okay, you have the people on the ground. They could just reach about 100 people. Pero after that, 100 samantalang if you are interviewed sa radio and TV, marami nakikinig dyan. So, mas malawak ang nararating nila. Kaya, at saka isa pa, pag people on the ground, magastos. Wala naman akong panggastos. Tsaka, ako, may pera din naman ako kahit pa paano. But I will not use our money. I will not use the money of our family. I just allotted about 3 to 5 million pesos sa aking funds, or manggagaling pa nga sa ibang mga kaibigan. And people are laughing at me. Nagtatawa na nila ako. Ano mangyayari sa 5 million Yan sa barangay lang yan.
Hindi man lang makakalampas ng Metro Manila siguro.
Pero believe it or not, marami nagbibigay sa akin ng mga donations. Meron nagbigay sa akin ng mga t-shirts, mga nagbigay ng mga tarpaulins. Kanina nga lang, andun ako while waiting for you, nandun ako sa isang fast food chain. May lumapit sa akin, taga-Canada daw sila. Magbibigay pa nga sa akin ng pera kanina. Baka pwede, next time na lang ako. At baka ako pag nag-fundraising na lang para malaki-laki.
Yes. So the official campaign season is about to start, February 9?
February 12.
February 12, ang official campaign season.
So ngayon, hindi pa campaign, but we are campaigning. That's the irony of it.
Mas grew it.
Kasi wala naman ngayong premature campaigning. So, nangyayari, yung mayayaman, yung talagang maraming pera, sila talaga, they lord it over. Kami, wala kami magawa. We just go to the provinces. Kaya nga, lagi sinasabi ko, para maiwasan yung ganyan sa premature campaigning na yung gastos, dapat from the time that we file our certificate of candidacy, all expenses should be part of those that are we going to report to the Comelec. Dapat counted na yun. Para level ang playing field na pare-pareho lang yung panahon ng paggastos namin. Maaaring kung gusto mo, gastusin mo yan before the campaign period. Or mag-alat ka for this premature campaigning at saka on the actual campaign period. Pero nangyayari ngayon, dahil sa wala ng premature campaigning, basta marami kang pera, pwede kang mag-advertise na mag-advertise.
So, isa yan sa pwede nating ayusin. Kapag, sir, nasa Senado ka na.
Actually, pinag-aaralan ko nga ngayon should this already be part of the campaign expenses to be reported to the Comelec? I am studying it, para malaman natin na baka naman sumusobra na rin yung iba. Meron diyang makikita mo halos every 5 minutes, meron siyang television na exposure.
And the billboards. Ngayon lang ako nakakakita ata ng napakalalaking billboards.
And yet they were saying, hindi naman kami kandidato hindi pa kami kandidato. Because that's the common legal excuses nila.
Is a biopic allowed? Parang
No,
movie,
during the campaign period.
but
Pero
before,
ngayon,
kung film siya before.
yeah, even if it's a film before, but during the campaign period, you cannot show that. Even old films of actors running for positions cannot be shown during the campaign period.
Yes, sir.
Hindi po pwede yun.
Yes, sir. As we wrap up, sir, so how do you keep yourself healthy? You're 71.
71,
you
yeah.
look talagang
Pero
really
kasi
healthy.
ako, marami akong supply ng food supplement.
Okay.
Kaya ako puro food supplement. Kaya nga sabi ko, I'll sponsor a bill also, and I want a law to be enacted. Yung mga food supplement na yan, dapat talaga kasama agad sa discount yan. Kaya nga food yan eh. Kaya nga dapat 20% na yan. Even without the prescription of the doctor. Itong mga food supplement companies nito, no, napakalaki na kinikita niyan. Would you imagine yung isang food supplement lang, 50 tablets lang yan, halos nasa 3,000 pesos na.
I wonder if the President takes food supplements.
Yeah, kaya yun dapat ang food supplement, automatic yung 20% ng mga senior citizens.
Yes, yes.
Kaya sa mga senior citizens, kayo, ginagawa ko yung campaign manager. At lagi ko sinasabi sa inyo, tatanda at lilipas din ako. Ngunit may mga batas na gagawin para sa inyo doon sa Senado. So save your last vote for me, and you save your last vote for honesty and integrity.
And with that, thank you very much, sir.
Hey, salamat.
As always, it's
As
a
always,
pleasure
yeah.
talking to you, sir. And that was Attorney Romulo Macalintal, opposition senatorial candidate. We just talked to him about issues and his platforms. Again, I'm Nika Dizon for Rappler's The Leader I Want series. Thank you very much.